Ancient Egyptians didn't just forget this god. Across 1,000 years, they hunted down his name, carved it off temple walls, and smashed his statues to dust. This is the story of the god they tried to erase, and the reason he refused to disappear. His name was Set, god of the desert, god of storms, god of chaos. Long before he was a villain, he was necessary. Egypt was a land of order. The Nile, the harvests, the predictable rhythm of life. But beyond the riverbanks was the desert, harsh, chaotic, deadly. Someone had to rule that world. That was Set. Set had a brother, Osiris. Where Set was wild, Osiris was order itself, the king who taught Egypt to farm, to build, to live in peace. The people loved him. And somewhere along the way, Set's role as necessary chaos started to feel like something else, being unwanted. So, Set built a box, beautifully carved, perfectly sized, for one person. At a feast, he offered it as a game. Whoever fit inside perfectly could keep it. Osiris climbed in. The moment he did, Set slammed the lid shut, sealed it, and threw it into the Nile. But that wasn't enough. When Osiris's wife Isis found the box and tried to revive him, Set found the body first and cut it into 14 pieces, scattering them across Egypt so he could never be whole again. Set didn't just want his brother gone, he wanted him unrecoverable. Isis refused to accept it. She gathered every piece, rebuilt her husband's body with magic, and conceived a son, Horus, a child born for one purpose: to take back what Set had stolen. For decades, Set and Horus fought, not just with weapons, but through trials before the entire Council of Gods. Set lost an eye. Horus lost a testicle. Neither side would yield. The other gods grew tired of choosing sides. Finally, the gods held a final trial. 80 years of conflict came down to one vote, and in the end, they ruled against Set. Horus was crowned. Set was stripped of his throne over the Nile, the fertile heart of Egypt, and banished back to the desert he'd always ruled. Not destroyed, just put back in his place. Here's the part most people don't know. For over 1,000 years after that, Set was still worshipped. As a protector against real chaos, storms, invaders, he had a place. But when Egypt was invaded by foreign rulers who associated themselves with chaos gods, Egyptian priests turned on Set completely. They didn't just retell his story as a villain's, they erased his name from monuments, defaced his statues, rewrote temple inscriptions. The first recorded campaign in history to delete a god from memory. Every civilization needs a villain to make sense of its heroes. Set didn't become evil. He became useful as evil. A story order tells itself to feel safe. But you can't actually erase chaos. You can only give it a new name. Today, archaeologists still find his face, chipped but recognizable, underneath the plaster later priests used to cover him. Some things don't erase. They just wait. If you want the next god they tried to erase, subscribe. The next one's even stranger.